So go ahead and take that glue and a hard bristle brush. It doesn't have to be this big. This is a painter's brush. I just happen to have it because I just got done painting my kitchen and thought I'll put this to good use on my book. So you want to get a good thick layer that's well distributed on the front of your book, and hopefully you're not necessarily following along. It'd be best if you just watch this first, this whole video all the way through first, and then go ahead and get started on your own. Gluing is it's probably the most difficult part of the whole process. And that's saying a lot because it's really not that hard. I mean, you just put a bit of glue on there and you're pretty good to go. Okay, and I pre-cut my scrapbook pages. You can do that using your ruler and your scissors, or if you have a paper cutter, go ahead and do that. And since your book size will vary, you'll want to determine what size you need to cut your page. I did my pages for the front just about a 1/2 inch overlap, so that when you put them down, there's about a 1/2 inch on all the sides. I'm going to go ahead and paste that down with my little whisks facing up. And just push that down, rub it in really good. I did probably just a little bit over a 1/2 inch. And you can do a little bit more, a little bit less. It doesn't need to be exact. Okay, and then if you have a bone folder, that's this, then go ahead and use that to smooth out any of the bubbles that the glue would be making underneath the paper. If you don't have a bone folder, you could use a popsicle stick or a wooden ruler or, I don't know, whatever, like a spatula or anything really. Another book. It's not completely necessary to have it. Okay, once we get that down, I will show you how to fold in the edges to face the inside of the book. Alright, so we just glued it on. Now I'll get rid of that so you can kind of see what's going on. We just glued it on, and these edges are kind of free right now. And with the bone folder, or whatever tool you find, I'm going to go in to the front flap and crease the edges. So just along the edges, press in to make a good crease around the corner. And along that back side. And this just helps to get a crease so that when you fold it over, it doesn't fight you too bad. And then also around these corners, you just want to clip off the edge if you're doing a rounded corner. If not, you can just fold in the corners. First fold in this far side and fold it right over, glue it on, and then fold over this other side as well, and then flip these parts over so that you have a good crease there. But if you're doing the rounded, you'll want to cut little snips along the corner, because when it folds in, you don't want it to buckle with all the paper under there. And do it on both sides. I'm going to cut off that corner. And snip. 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 And if you talk to like a professional bookbinder, they would say not to use scrapbook paper and things like that, just because it's not as good of a quality as paper that would be made from linen or cotton or Japanese paper binding types of papers. But whereas we're making this kind of for a friend or and as a gift where we don't think that there's going to be a ton of wear on it. Like if we were binding our own novel or something, we'd want to go through a professional binder with the professional equipment and materials. But this is just a fun project that you can make for whoever. I mean, if you find when you're out, I like to think that handmade gifts are the very best that people can give because it's so genuine and personal. But then, second to that, I would say that that vintage or gifts that are bought secondhand are incredibly personal as well, because you have to do so much more shopping for something like that. Instead of just, popping into Walmart and choosing the latest DVD or whatever. So when you're out at the thrift store and you're looking in the book section, which is a great place to find good finds, then go ahead and look for something that you might think that somebody would really love, that you love. Okay, so for this, you go ahead and fold in the sides like you would with square corners. Probably should have kept this book square cornered because that's probably what most of you will be considering doing. And it's much easier than doing the rounded corners. And if the glue oozes out, kind of like how mine is, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Because you're going to have an end paper come over the side there anyways. Press it down really good. Get your bone folder. Crease that side. Make sure it's down really well. And then smooth it out. Okay, and then see how this is kind of coming over? We just need to turn in all these little tabs that we created by cutting them. And you'll add a little more glue so that they can each be individually glued down. And that helps you get that nice rounded corner showing. And just go ahead and put them down one at a time, overlapping each other. If you need to snip a little bit off, it's okay because it's going to be covered. I like to do that just so that I don't have so much bulk right there. And then kind of fold that in. Alright, and then do the other side, exactly how we did that first side. And people wonder if the Elmer's glue will hold as well as book glue would. And it's going to be pretty comparable. It's not going to fall apart on you, especially if you get enough of it and you give it plenty of time to dry. And Elmer's glue is made to be used for crafts, so it's fine to use when you're doing paper crafts or sometimes even fabric crafts. I mean, it says on the bottle pretty well what you can and can't use it for, so I don't worry too much when I use it for simple crafts like this. When you're binding in the spine, like the pages of the book, into the book, it's a little more important to have that heavy-duty glue that really keeps it stable because you don't want your pages falling out. But whereas this cover is probably not going to get so much wear, it's alright to go ahead and go with the cheaper option of the Elmer's glue. Okay, and go ahead and don't forget to do your bone folder on the creases. Really get that glue out, get the bubbles removed. Pull in those tabs. Make that corner really nice and curved. And if you want to snip off a little excess, that's fine. Okay. And then this biggest part, this is when you want to make sure that you get nice and straight and glued down really well. Alright. fold that over. And you will have more bulk on the corners, and that just will naturally happen because you have more paper there. So don't worry about it. It's not going to make much difference. And if you notice on a normal book, it has a little more bulk there too, especially if it's made with good materials. Go ahead and fold that over. Sorry, I'm not really showing exactly what I'm doing here.